Arab Americans got played, and everybody who thought that Donald Trump was going to end the conflict in Gaza are in for a rude awakening. Warhawks have filled up much of the spots in the Donald Trump cabinet. So who are they? Well, first and foremost, Tom Homan is the chief border czar who is going to deport millions of people across America. He was an Obama appointee. Obama was the mass deporter in chief during his presidency, so the issue of immigration has been widely politicized. Obama was actually very tough on the border. He pledged he would run the biggest deportation operation the country has ever seen. He has promised to flood sanctuary cities with agents to conduct mass arrests and carry out massive raids targeting workplaces. He was given the Presidential Rank Award by Obama in 2015 for his work in enforcement and removal operations. He used to be a law enforcement officer before getting into immigration policy. Stephen Miller was friends with white supremacist Richard Spencer during his time at Duke. He was the architect of family separation during Donald Trump's first term. He supports deploying the military to hunt down undocumented peoples, and he supports the use of mass detention centers. Instead of family separation, what will happen for all the Latinos who voted for Trump is the fact that some friends of theirs will be deported. Instead of family separation, what you have is keeping families together. So even if the kids are born in America, if their parents are illegal, guess what? The kids are going to be deported too, because it's all about keeping the families together. So naturalized people will be deported under Donald Trump's massive immigration operation. And show me your papers. Well, driver's license won't work. Good luck. If you're speaking to an ICE officer in broken English and you only have a driver's license, well, anyone can get a driver's license, including an illegal immigrant. Get in the van. But I voted for Donald Trump. I voted for Donald Trump. Get in the van. That's what's going to happen under this new Donald Trump administration. Marco Rubio, a notorious war hawk, is Secretary of State. He wanted war with Iran before. You see, Arab Americans, did you really think the guy who banned all Muslims from coming to America was going to suddenly call for a ceasefire? Guys who got played by Donald Trump. As a matter of fact, AIPAC, they support both parties. They give money and contributions to both parties. It doesn't matter if you voted against Kamala. The same hawkish pro-Israel policy is going to happen under the Republican Party. Rubio, notorious war hawk, known for promoting an aggressive foreign policy against countries such as Iran, China, Russia, and Venezuela. Rubio has a particular hostility towards Cuba. Being of Cuban descent, he attacked left-wing social movements in the United States. He supported using the power of the state to harshly sanction the Black Lives Matter movement and the Pro-Palestinian movement. You see, Arab America, this is exactly what you voted for. Michael Waltz, National Security Advisor, notoriously hawkish in regards to China and Iran. During Trump's first term, he almost provoked war with Iran when he assassinated General Qassim Suleimani in 2020. He was one of a small group of people invited to the White House to receive a briefing on the strike. Donald Trump said he was going to protect all women, right? Well, Matt Gaetz, fuckboy Matt Gaetz, frat boy Matt Gaetz as Attorney General, most punchable face in America. Matt Gaetz is under investigation for trafficking young girls. And this is Donald Trump's first choice to be Attorney General. He has zero experience practicing law. He got a law degree, but he has zero experience actually practicing law, and now you want him to oversee the nation's most powerful law enforcement position in regards to, I mean, this is crazy. It was a pretty long investigation into federal sex trafficking that I spoke about. A 3-year investigation that ended in 2023. Again, Merrick Garland doesn't do anything because supposedly you want to bring everybody together. But it doesn't sound like Biden's DOJ was politicizing itself against political opponents at all. The nation's top prosecutor job goes to Matt Gaetz, who doesn't even practice law, who is just like Donald Trump and his friend Jeffery Epstein. These guys love these. They like him very young. Oops, that's what you voted for, QAnon? Oops, it runs deep. Oh, the pedophiles are on the Democratic side, really? Matt Gaetz is a total creep. Have you seen this guy? This guy went on partisan rants. This guy is not capable of being objective. But wow, this guy has no experience. This guy's one of the worst picks of them all. The Secretary of Defense, he has no experience being a general. He's a Fox host who is completely loyal to Donald Trump. So basically, Donald Trump hired a loyalist as Secretary of Defense. He's been in combat, but he doesn't have any actual experience as a general. He's an advocate on behalf of former members of the military who have been convicted of war crimes. He lobbied in defense of Navy SEAL Chief Petty Officer Edward Gallagher, accused of stabbing a teenage prisoner of war to death and shooting a teenage girl and elderly man while deployed in Iraq. But again, a Fox host is now Secretary of Defense. You can't make this up. Part of the hardliners of people making up Donald Trump's immigration czars, Kristi Noem, Secretary of Homeland Security, is another one who will not question Donald Trump at all. This is his attempt to become a dictator when he hires people who are 100% loyal to him, who will not question their leader. Just like other dictators like Putin, they surround themselves with nothing but yes men. Donald Trump wants to surround himself with nothing but yes men who will not question anything he does. She says the United States of America is in a time of invasion as a consequence of the immigrants waging war against our nation. She supported the Muslim ban during Trump's first term because it would restrict refugees from terrorist hotbed areas. You see this, Arab America? You see this, you Arabs in Michigan? This is what you voted for. Congrats, you got played, guys. Naive. This is what you guys get. You get what you vote for. John Ratcliffe as CIA director. He was director of national intelligence during his first term. We'll get into the Russian agent Tulsi Gabbard in a second. Again, she's a sympathizer to Vladimir Putin and other dictators. Vladimir Putin is lapping his behind at the pick as head of national intelligence. We'll get to Tulsi Gabbard in a second. She had a secret meeting with the dictator of Syria, sympathized with the leader of Syria, claimed he didn't use chemical warfare. The pick was praised by Mike Turner, who accused fellow Republican colleagues of repeating Russian propaganda for countering the serious threats posed by China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea. But Tulsi Gabbard used to run as a Democrat in 2020. She's a hardline sympathizer of Russia. And in March of 2022, she said, media freedom in Russia is not so different from that in the United States. Really? Really? You can criticize the president and not go to jail? Really? Wow, what an agent. Gabbard, a clear asset to Vladimir Putin's regime, has been against sending aid to Ukraine. Plays into the interests of Vladimir Putin. She missed a vote on Syria, too. In 2017, she had a prominent meeting with Syrian leader Bashar al-Assad. What were her statements on the meeting? Instead of blaming the dictator for being the aggressor, she blames NATO and the United States for Russia's invasion of Ukraine. She's a complete joke. She's a complete disgrace, too, to her country. Tom Rogan of conservative Washington Examiner described Gabbard as an ideological sympathizer of Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin. She is a sympathizer of authoritarianism around the world. This is your head of intelligence. Vladimir Putin's laughing his behind off. Yeah, John McCain is rolling over in his grave right now. Now on to the Zionists. Stephen Witkoff, Zionist multimillionaire real estate investor, close friend of Donald Trump's special envoy to the Middle East. Mike Huckabee once argued that there is no such thing as a Palestinian. U.S. would back an Israeli attempt to annex the West Bank. He doesn't want Palestine to exist. He wants Israel to kick all the Palestinians out. This is what you get. This is what you voted for, Arab America. Congrats. You guys got played big time. War machine lives on. Who can forget that Donald Trump launched triple the amount of drone strikes that Obama launched during the entirety of Obama's presidency? Elise Stefanik, United Nations ambassador. She went viral for her role in orchestrating the downfall of several prominent university presidents, that they're not repressing pro-Palestine students enough. one of the most prominent enemies against the student movement. Congrats, Arab America. You got played big time. Big time. What were you guys thinking? Were you really thinking Donald Trump was not going to be anything but pro-Israel? Congrats, guys. You guys got played big time. They are more hawkish than Biden and Harris are. Wasn't it true that Donald Trump declared Jerusalem the capital of Israel? Wasn't that true? Or are they very forgetful? What wasn't? Wasn't that what happened? Yes, December 6th, 2017, his first year as during his first term, he formally recognized Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. And Jerusalem belongs to all people, by the way, to Christians, to Jews, to Muslims. It's a holy site for all three of those monotheistic religions. So, congrats, Arab America. You guys got absolutely played, and it's not just Arab Americans, it's all Americans that have the memory of a goldfish. They forget things that happened even 2 years ago, but that happened 7 years ago. So yeah, memory of a goldfish, indeed. Not limited to one group of people, but to all Americans. Department of Government Efficiency. Well, you know these regulatory bodies that investigate these billionaires for wrongdoing, malpractice in their companies. Oh, let's get rid of all of the regulation oversight to any abuses against workers in their workplaces. Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk have been promised a formal role in the new administration. Department of Government Efficiency is designed to help the ultra-rich slash through government regulations that place a limit on power and profit. So the billionaires are not going to be relegated, are not going to be regulated by this new government. They're going to get away with everything scotch-free. Elon Musk and all of his other investigations by the government, that's all going to go away. This is not about helping the average American. The billionaires like Musk influencing the election, it's about helping themselves, give themselves even more power, make even more money, monopolize their companies even more. But America got played big time, especially everyone voting for Trump because of Kamala not being hard enough on having a ceasefire and peace in the Middle East. These people got played big time. And Latino Americans too. If you have a friend that's here illegally, doesn't have papers, they're going to get deported. He didn't do that. Biden didn't do that. This guy did that. Now, this wasn't the first time that naturalized citizens got deported in America. As far back, there's Operation Wetback was another large operation against, they kicked a lot of Mexican Americans back to Mexico. So, if you don't think they're capable of doing this, this has happened in the past. Legal citizen deported back to Mexico. This was back in 1930. So this has happened before. There's the article right there. I think that's what I was looking at. So I think there's a lot of buyer's remorse already with this election. I think the election was rigged, but even though there are a lot of people that did voted for Trump, they're very silent right now. But it looks like history is repeating itself again. Will this new administration be coherent enough to not deport the crop pickers? Because obviously, if they go after those people, then this is gonna cause rampant inflation for produce at the grocery stores. But I think they're gonna deport anyone that they see. It's by design. It's by design so they can crash the economy. Because billionaires gotta buy low, buy even more existing shares at a huge discount to make themselves even more money when the share inevitably increases when the recession goes away, back to a share price in a normal time where the economy is not being contracted. So this is how they rig the economy. This is how they will rig this economy. The tariff's going to make everyday goods expensive for Americans, going to result in a nationwide recession/depression. Well, if they do this to the migrant crop pickers, then this is going to be a full-blown recession. Maybe even a depression. Certainly the Herbert Hoover tariffs ended in disaster, prolonged the Great Depression. So history is going to repeat itself. We really needed anyone but Donald Trump. This even includes a different Republican candidate. But here we are. The very worst of all possible candidates is going to be sworn in about 2 months from now, and the crash is coming, and the war is only going to continue in Gaza.